Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the startup stage your host for the CTA Foundation Pitch Competition 2022, Executive Director of the CTA Foundation, Steve Ewell.
I am so happy to see all of these people here today and to be back in Las Vegas for CES 2022. It is great to see all of you, and I'm thrilled to have this pitch competition today where we're going to hear from 8 really incredible companies about their technologies. For those of you that don't know, the CTA Foundation, we're the charitable foundation that's affiliated with CTA, the organization that runs CES. We were launched, actually, this year is going to be the 10th anniversary of the launch of our foundation, which to me, quite frankly, is hard to believe. Our mission is to link older adults and people with disabilities with technologies that enhance their lives. Over the time of the foundation, we've given out over $5.8 million to nonprofit organizations all over the country. We've held convening activities like a big accessibility roundtable that we did earlier this week at CES. And then the third pillar of our activity is really promoting innovation and looking at how do we help encourage the types of technologies that are going to help the communities we're trying to serve. And that's a big part of what we're going to be doing today as we look at these technologies that are going to keep people safer at home. Our mission statement that all of the startups that applied today looked at is essentially, as people want to age in place, how can new disruptive solutions help homes become smarter, safer, accessible, and fun at any age? So we're going to see a whole host of different companies highlighting their products that fit within this space. We actually had over 70 different companies, all CES exhibitors, apply to be part of this group today. Narrowed it down to the 8 that you're going to hear. They come from all over the world, and we'll be showcasing a wide variety of different technologies that fit within this space. We're going to have 2 prizes as far as the program goes. One prize is going to be selected by our industry expert judges that I'm about to introduce in just a second. But the second prize is actually going to be voted on by all of you. So we're using a tool called Slido. And you can either download the Slido app, or you can just go to slido.com/CTAF AARP. And throughout, after each pitch, you're going to have an opportunity to rate the pitching company on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a low score, 10 being a high score. So that is Sierra Lima, India, Delta, Oscar.com/CTAF AARP. And that'll take you, you won't see anything there as far as a score, but we will be putting something active here in just a couple minutes to do a test question. So I mentioned the grand prize is being selected by our industry expert judges. We have an incredible group here on stage. Starting on my far left, Brian Dawson, who is the VP for Strategic Partnerships at Build Within. Brian, welcome.
Thank you.
In the center, we have Dr. Susan Malinowski with the Retina Consultants of Michigan. Really pleased to have you, Susan. And last but not least, of course, here on the end is Dan Pidgeon, the CEO of Sears Home Services, and I also have to say, a CTA Foundation trustee. So that's the important one for me right there. All right, so we're going to test out the voting for all of you. If you would all take out your phones, go to slido.com/CTAF AARP, and there should be a question that's going live, and essentially it's asking, we want to know a little bit about you. There's a number of different categories. You can certainly do multiple options, but click the options. You know, are you here? Are you an investor? Are you a startup company or representing a startup company? You know, what best describes you? Because we love to hear your feedback from that. I'll give you all a minute or two to enter that information. And essentially, once again, this is how it's going to work after each startup pitches. We'll have 3 minutes for the startup to pitch. We'll have 2 minutes for our expert judges up here to ask some questions. And then we'll have a minute for all of you to vote. You'll see the question pop up. It'll be rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a high score. So, all right. So now we'll be closing out that question. And you'll see we're going to keep putting this website up throughout. So certainly if you don't have the information loaded, you can just keep that live on your phone. But if you don't have it, we'll be reminding you throughout today. So now is the fun. Now we get to dive into the pitches. As I mentioned, we'll have 8 companies here today. And kicking us off is Aum. Yep.
Hi everyone. First of all, thanks to the CTA Foundation for giving me the opportunity to present you Aum and the way we ambition to make your homes and daily lives smarter, safer, accessible, and fun. My name is Adrian. I'm one of the co-founders of Aum, a French-based startup based in Paris. We develop and manufacture instantaneous, high-performing cleaning technologies in order to favor reusing. We decided to tackle the first issue, the 5 billion plastic cups that are consumed worldwide. So we came up with a machine that cleans, disinfects, and dries a glass in 10 seconds with only 2 centiliter, that's 0.7 ounces of water, and no chemicals. In order to offer an alternative to disposable cups and favor reusing where cleaning is not made available. So we installed this machine in corporate environments, in hotels, reception areas, co-workings, basically everywhere where plastic cups are consumed, in order to make the act of reusing and the act of cleaning as simple as the act of throwing away. So this is basically the first step. We aim at developing a large range of cleaning applications, fast and smart cleaning applications, in order to make your daily lives smart and basically shift the perception that we have of cleaning, which is seen as annoying, boring, unpleasant, and make it smart, fast, enjoyable, accessible. Because we are convinced that in the future the society will tend more and more into a zero-waste society, and that reusing will be a major trend, and that in order to favor reusing, there will be a need to develop high-performing cleaning technologies. Thank you, everyone, and I will be delighted to answer your questions.
So I'll ask the first question. Is there a price point?
Sorry?
Price point?
We invoice based on the cycle, a cleaning cycle, which is equivalent to the price of a paper cup. That is to say, 4 cents. So it's a rental fee for companies. It's 180 euros per month, which includes maintenance into the whole service.
One follow-up. Have there been any side-by-side comparisons where you know how many plastic cups they were using before versus after?
Yeah, so it's one machine for 100 people, more or less. 3 cups per day per people, so that's 300 plastic cups per day. That's 6,000 plastic cups per month, so more or less almost 80,000 plastic cups saved per year per machine.
And you've seen that happen in actual real
Yeah,
life?
we have deployed the solution since the end of August 2021. And the machines are used like basically almost 300 times a day by employees in corporate environments.
can you use this just to clean regular cups? Like if you have a break room and people are always using just ceramic mugs, will that fit in the machine?
Actually not, because the fact that we clean that fast and in such an ecological way is because we have a complementarity tool, cleaning tool with the glass. So we have a standardized glass, which in B2B environments is not that much a problem. Employees consume, we have a standardized glass that is pretty premium, in which we can consume basically any kind of beverage.
So if I have an office with a dishwasher and 50 glasses in the drawer, why would I want to get an Aum and not just use the glasses that have been cleaned? And follow up to that, if I'm drinking coffee, this is not going to help me, is it?
Well, yes, if you drink coffee, you can, let's say that you get a coffee in the morning at 9:30, and you are using a paper cup that you were throwing away right after consuming your coffee. You can come back to the machine, clean your glass in 10 seconds, and reuse it. So it's made basically for coffee drinkers. And regarding questions to the dishwashers, in corporate environments in which you have more than 50 people, dishwashing requires a lot of service because unfortunately human beings are a bit lazy and they tend to leave the cups in the sink and not really use the dishwasher, and it becomes a kind of chaotic. And the fact that the machine is pretty designed, is really easy to use, makes that employees really use the machine and clean the glass instead of just leaving the glass in the sink.
Congratulations. Great product.
Thank you.
And that is time. Open for Ohm. You can go to slido.com/CTAF AARP and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, this is the fourth time that we've run this contest, and I had a chance to reflect back a little bit on some of our past winners. The first time we ran this contest was at CES 2019, and we actually chose 2 winners that time, both of which are still exhibiting at CES 2022 this year. One of them you can see, it's called Helium. They are in the grand lobby over at the LVCC, the Las Vegas Convention Center, right outside the North Hall. And they've got a technology using VR, and they say you can tame your stress animal this year using their VR technology. So definitely encourage people to go check that out next time they are over at the Convention Center and check out one of our previous winners. All right, we got just a couple seconds left for voting, so make sure you get those scores in. All right, great. Well, next up, we have Brumble with their product Zulu Hood.
Zulu Hood. Oh, cool logo.
My name is Maya, but I would also like you to meet Mona. Mona is 70, she's living alone, but she's okay with that. She has her son Mark as an emergency contact. Mark has taught Mona how to use her Alexa to alert him if she falls, and he will also receive smoke alerts if she forgets to turn off the appliances. But Mark is a very busy man. He's quite often unavailable, and he needs someone to check on Mona constantly. What Mark needs is a monitoring service. Unfortunately, companies that provide such services quite often tie them to a specific product. So if you have the wrong product, like Mona does, you can't use the service you need. And these services cannot be purchased quickly on your mobile when you need them or when you worry. Well, ZuluHood is here to change that. ZuluHood is the first digital end-to-end marketplace focused on security services. It connects currently incompatible smart home systems and forwards their alerts to local security providers. It also makes their services available for instant purchase on our mobiles. To users like Mona and Mark, that changes a lot. Services like smoke alarm monitoring or instant patrol check become available for systems they use, like Mona's Alexa speaker. They also become available for purchase anytime they need them. But ZuluHood is even more. Since time is critical in alarm, Mark can instruct Zuluhood to forward high-priority alerts to people living close to Mona who can react fast. They can be her neighbors or people or friends he trusts, but in Zuluhood, we call them watchers. Zuluhood main revenue is coming from Marketplace, and it needs to grow. We are working on that. But we also want to add more product integrations and make services like alarm monitoring available to various users without them worrying if they have the right product at home. We are currently a team of 7 and a great mix coming from security, IT, and software development industries with some years and experience behind us. And we came to Vegas with great news. We already have the first services for our marketplace. Services like daily monitoring or urgent patrol will soon be available to all Mikes and Monas in our home country. Smart systems already connect to Zuluhood through IoTTT, and Home Assistant is next. And we have made our neighborhood version available for download free and worldwide. So you can already invite your neighbors and friends to check on the alerts from your smart home systems or your elderly anytime you are unavailable, like right now. Therefore, we invite you to visit us at our booth, download our app, and join our vision of a safer neighborhood. It's called Zuluhood. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What is the cost of this? Is it a subscriber-based, or how does it work?
It is a free app. We do not set up the services for the security services, the price for the security services. The service provider defines the price as their own. It is fair, and we charge only the fee for the marketplace. But the app is free to download.
Do you mind flipping back to, I think it was your second slide that showed the comparisons to the other services?
This one.
So is it your plan to go and sell this to those B2B partners?
Exactly.
Okay.
We expect them to be the service provider on our marketplace as well.
So you talk a lot about Alexa, and specifically regarding Alexa, how do you envision that being integrated?
Well, we have, our idea is that the alert is important, not the system itself. So the alert, whether it's triggered for the voice coming from Alexa system, whether it's triggered for the app or from the smart home camera, it is the alert that is important. And it should be forwarded to the security companies and monitored, as well as any kind of, let's say, alarm system which is currently monitored. So we would like to shift focus on the alerts and on the users, not the product itself. This is why we mentioned Alexa, a simplified product. Well, for example, anyone shouts, "Alexa, I need help," or "Alexa, fire," it is immediately transferred in an alert, which can be monitored by the professionals or the neighbors.
So if my Uncle Henry and Steve have different monitoring systems at home,
Yes.
this is giving me a single dashboard that
Exactly.
enables me to monitor his health or
Exactly.
his
Your home, your family home, your parents' home, so from the single dashboard, yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, great job. Voting is now open for Brumbull with their product Zuluhood. And Brian, I appreciate you looking out for Henry and myself here as you're, that keep an eye on us. You never know what trouble we can cause. So, I mentioned the 2019 that we had 2 winners. The second company that's also exhibiting at CES this year that was our winner that year was a company called Waverly Labs. And they're actually just upstairs in the lifestyle section at CES 2022, showing off their earbuds, which are focused on making a world with no language barriers. So some very cool connection technology there. All right, we've got just a few more seconds to go. Make sure you get those votes in at slido.com/CTAF AARP.
That was a really good idea.
And all right, just the last couple seconds as that votes are submitted. Next up on stage is Caregiver Smart Solutions. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Martha Siski, and on behalf of Caregiver Smart Solutions, I am excited to show you our data-driven and cost-effective solution for aging in place. In 2020, 55 million Americans were age 65 and over, and by 2030, 75 million will be in that age range. We also know that 87% of those who are 65 and over want to stay in their homes by their family, friends, and community. They want to age in place. But here's the concern. Once you visit your loved one and they close the door, it is a black hole of information, even if you're calling to check in. So really, how do you know if there's a problem? I mean, there's a technology solution, right? This is CES. We can track storms on Mars and have conversations with our goldfish. Why can't we just take that technology and apply it to grandma? These technologies do not provide insight to a caregiver if your aging loved one does not want them in their home. Our customers show that cameras are intrusive. They mention that wearables are forgotten and insulting. One of our customers told us she called her pendant a button of death. This is why we developed the Aging in Place Core Monitoring Kit. Driven by machine learning and AI, we use non-invasive smart sensors to provide real-time data and feedback to caregivers while respecting that aging loved one's concerns about technology in their home. The Core Kit covers 80% of all of the homes that our consumers live in, and the app provides those real-time insights for the early detection of problems and changes in patterns for your loved one. The alerts can be customized per user and sent to multiple varieties of caregivers, including professionals. We currently sell direct to consumers on our website, and we sell in the US, Canada, Germany, the UK, and Japan. There are also kits. If your home does not fit in that core kit, there are kits to add on to make sure that you are covered in your home for your loved one. We also serve the in-home service provider and assisted living facility market using custom dashboards with this product. Our product was developed by an amazing team with experience in smart home technology, IoT, microservices, and franchising. And there is competition in this space, mostly from security and other home automation providers, but none of them get it right. They try to wedge the safety of your loved one into existing products that are expensive, reactive, and quite honestly intrusive. So there is a need for a product and a service to provide real-time insights to caregivers while providing respect for the person that they're getting cared for. So thank you for allowing me to introduce the Core Monitoring Kit from Caregiver Smart Solutions.
Good job. I think inquiring minds want to know why there was a duck on the senior care center floor running around amok. Was it a chicken?
It was a chicken.
Fancy chicken? So how does your system identify if there was a fall?
So the sensors themselves can tell if there is motion and not motion. There are also emergency buttons that you can place in portions of the home where there may be more likely to be a fall, such as a bathroom, a kitchen, or a stairway.
Is this monitored?
It is actively monitored, yes.
Are there any cameras at all, or is it all
No
just by
cameras.
sensors?
All sensors. The use of I'm going to say two-way speakers and listening and cameras is very intrusive to a large portion of the aging population. As the population ages and we're all used to smartphones, that will likely change. But currently, there's still sort of an adversity to having that sort of big brothery watching.
Do you have any data around the acceptance of this versus cameras or other more intrusive as you characterize it?
I don't have any direct numbers to give you. I can just relay the feedback from our consumers who much preferred this product over being watched or having technology that they were uncomfortable with in their home. Here it is direct contact and data that their caregiver has that they can converse about.
Does the system send any notification to loved ones if there's a lack of motion for X number of time?
Yes, you can set alerts for lack of motion, things like if someone leaves the door ajar, because some of those can be indicators of ill health or declining health.
And if the caregiver doesn't respond, will it contact emergency services? Is there a backup?
you can program in a number of different caregivers, including professional services.
Very good.
All right. Another good pitch. I think we're going to have quite the competition here today. Make sure you go to that slido.com/CTAFAARP and register your vote for Caregiver Smart Solutions. So another of our winners in CES 2020, we went with a sports and fitness theme for the pitch competition. Had a chance to hear a wide variety of different technologies. And the one that ended up winning this year is a company called Zebrio. And they are, for any of you, they're exhibiting as part of the digital CES exhibit. So you can find them through the app and other solutions this year. They have a scale that can both measure obviously things like weight and things, but also looking at balance and fall risk and other characteristics along those lines. So really some incredible technology and something that was very important as we were looking at the older adult population. So just a couple seconds left. Make sure you get that last vote in for our previous company. All right, next up is Drupal.
Hi everyone. Thank you to CTA Foundation and RRP Foundation Labs to hosting us today. We are Drupal, the Internet of Water, making and connecting 100 billion water assets off radar today. So how can we build a sustainable future for the elderly and for our children if we are not able to know what happens after the main water meter in any building? How can we save water if we are not able to know how we use it? We can't. And it's why Drupal has built this technology platform to connect those water assets. And what if we harness those water data and provide insights for the hygiene, the water usage, and the safety of the elderly and of the occupants? Today, we are able to collect from any point of use water usage data and process those data in order to provide insights on how you wash your hands, if it's sufficient, if it's healthy, if your water is stagnated or not, and how can we assess if you are in a well and healthy situation. Myself, I'm happy with the Drupal app to know that my mother in Switzerland, who is living alone, is well through the Drupal app with their analytics and insights. So with Drupal, we are able to know without an intrusive and sensing and camera and anything, just through the water usage at any point of use, if you are doing well, if you are using water, if you are showering, if you are washing your hands after using toilets, and so on. With our technology, we are able to retrofit any water assets, from water treatment systems, sanitary ware, and appliances. And with the patented Drupal iLink, we provide pre-processed data to our AI-enabled cloud platform. Our go-to-market strategy relies on two channels, land and expand with service providers that sell and develop services around water assets, and directly with digital marketing for senior communities and their beloved ones to generate traction. Our solution is customizable, is tailored. More you connect assets, more you are able to assess and have more insights on the people you would like to monitor. And it's based on an upfront fee for hardware and recurring fee for software. We are actually serving more than 50 customers on 3 continents, and we are seeking partners in the US market to grow and expand our solution. I'm very proud to lead those guys who are the Drupalets and bring specific skills that make Drupal the next water unicorn. So finally, from blindness, we are going to awareness with Drupal. And with you, we can make our elderly's lives safer and healthier. Thank you.
Who installs it?
Generally, the plumber or the service provider itself, because they are able to do that. It's 15 minutes per asset for an installation.
And that's part of the $89 price?
It's not, it's excluded from that price. So
Ramsey, or maybe I should call you Mr. Drupal.
Yeah.
Right, I guess. Does it give you any kind of feedback? In other words, once it makes the analysis, does it give you suggestions for what you could be doing differently?
Yes. The system is designed to learn about your water habits. And once it has settled your profile, it's able to tell you how you can save water in reducing your shower temperature in terms of energy or in terms of water usage. We are able to tell you if there is a water stagnated on your tap or on your shower, and then you have to flush your water before using it. Or we are able to know as well if someone is having a good hygiene with your hand wash, if you are using the faucet tap after using a toilet in a restroom, for example.
Does the system also allow you to monitor for leakage?
Yes.
Anything goes beyond the normal usage?
Yes, totally right. Our sensors are able to detect very low flow rate and then inform you timely about leakage and localize the leakage because we are connecting all the endpoints.
Does the monthly subscription include any and all devices in the home?
We have a subscription that is all-in-one, and then you pay just one fee for all the hardware and a full subscription for the software.
Have you partnered with any plumbing manufacturers, any sort of faucet manufacturers, anybody like that?
Yeah, in Europe, for example, or in Asia, it's what we do. And in the US, we are looking such partner that is able to install, support the solution with IoT capabilities, and also sell this solution within their distribution network.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, please go vote for Drupal at slido.com/CTAF-AARP. Hard to believe we're halfway through. 4 down. Be curious to see if any are taking a strong lead here, or although I think we have 4 more companies that are going to be making their case here very soon. All right, just a couple more seconds as we keep the voting open for Drupal. I gotta say, I'm just so thrilled to see so many people here participating in the pitch competition, getting back together, doing these meetings. It really makes a big difference as we look at what we can do here and how we can support these startups. So really thrilled to be here. All right, last seconds to vote for Drupal. And next up, as we start the back half, is Fresh Portal.
Hello. Hi. My name is Jeremy High. I am a luxury home builder in California. I'm also the founder and CEO of Fresh Portal. Thank you for everyone for coming. I don't give many speeches. Has anyone here had an issue with a home delivery not showing up right? Yeah? Well, Fresh Portal is designed to solve that problem, we think once and for all. We borrowed the idea for the solution to delivery problems like theft and temperature problems showing when deliveries show up and they're not kept at the right temperature. So we developed a solution that we borrowed from an old technology, the milk door. They were big in the 1900s. It allowed our cities to grow, far away from dairies prior to modern refrigeration. But then we got modern refrigeration and the milk doors went away, but we did get a lot of selection. Fresh Portal is about bringing all that selection at a grocery store to you at your doorstep. So we designed it to be to integrate into your home. It can be integrated into your office. It's sleek, it's minimal, it has a really nice aesthetic, it's customizable. It has all the modern features that you'd expect here at CES, camera, keypad, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. I'll just name a few of these. So for our delivery service providers, our mentor, who's on the next slide, Chris Bowering, who was a former head of Amazon Key, says that for delivery service providers, the first time delivery success is the key metric. So our product is a B2B in the sense it guarantees or improves the level of success for delivery service providers. Consumer benefits. As a builder, I designed it so that it can install. Our target is 1 hour. We'll get there. Probably 4 hours at the beginning, and then we do a 100-unit pilot in California, so we'll be working on that. So revenue for the business will definitely come in unit sales, but the vast majority of our revenue actually will come from fees, percentages of delivery fees, licensing, software, our app communicating with other apps. There's the team working hard to bring a real aesthetic, beautiful, luxury product to the market. And once we can establish that, we will be working on lower cost options. We debuted our alpha prototype here at CES this week. We'll be working on our beta next and looking for a 2023 release to bring safe and convenient deliveries so that you can focus on more important things. Come by and see us.
So my first question is, how do the delivery providers get into this? How do you know it's not someone trying to steal your chalupa that you've ordered from Grubhub?
Good question. So at the beginning, kind of at the dumbest level of technology, a first-time delivery, or excuse me, a one-time key code can be texted to you. It can also be put in your delivery instructions to the driver. We all have those capabilities now, so a one-time code can be generated on our app and just shared manually. And then in the future, our app will integrate with other delivery service providers' apps. So we envision soon the ability to know what's coming and adjust our temperature accordingly.
So 2 questions. Is this dual door, so truly contactless, so I can open it from inside my home? And then the second question is, why would a delivery partner want to pay fees for something they could just drop on the front porch?
Sure. Good question. So you see on the left-hand side of the screen, that's the outside of your home. And on the right-hand side of this wall is what you would see on the inside. So yeah, there's 2 doors. So you can open in the privacy of your own home, whether you're in pajamas or not. Delivery service providers are going to want to do business with us because dropping deliveries off on your doorstep is problematic for them as a business case, because they're delivering a product, letting go of their custody of it. They have no control. So when there is an issue, whose fault is it? The Fresh Portal is going to give a delivery confirmation receipt to the delivery service provider. And when they get that receipt, they have transferred custody. Not only that, that if they partner with us and we can provide information like the time, date stamps, we can provide photos of the items delivered and the temperature at which they've been kept.
We're at time for questions, so congratulations.
Okay,
Sorry to cut you off there, Dan. All right, everyone go to slido.com/CTAF AARP to register your vote for Fresh Portal. So with our CES 2021 pitch contest, just as with CES in much of the world, we went virtual with our pitch competition. And our winner that year was a really interesting company called NeighborForce, which has started out in Richmond, Virginia, and is looking at using neighbors to essentially create the social connections and the kind of volunteer services that they can bring together communities, especially serving the older population. So some really incredible technologies out of NeighborForce, and we're continuing to see them grow as a company. All right, we've got about 10 seconds left to vote for Fresh Portal. Make sure you get your votes in. Score of 1 to 10, with 10 being a high vote. All right, next up is Lychee Things with their product Smart Slider.
Hello everyone, I'm Shruti Ladani, co-founder of Lychee Things from Bay Area, California. Have you ever wondered why our homes have windows? Indoor air can be 5 times polluted, and it's one of the leading causes for depression in elders. And 50% of respiratory illnesses are due to poor air ventilation. CDC and EPA recommends to get as much fresh air as possible by opening your windows. But are we doing that enough? We oftentimes avoid it because as we age, our muscle mass declines and making it hard to operate, and windows can be heavy or inaccessible. Sometimes we forget to open them, and if we open, there is always a worry. What if I forget to close or lock them? We got the solution for you. Smart Slider, a device that can make existing sliding doors and windows automated. It keeps them locked when closed, and it's easy to install, and there's no damage. And full opening supports access to the wheelchair. So it's like your home gets smart power windows. It's a great gift of accessibility for someone who have difficulty operating the door to make them independent. With Pet Pass on the collar, your dog doesn't have to wait while you are busy in the meeting. And my favorite, voice command, to open the kitchen window quickly before the fire alarm rings.
How does that work?
You can operate Smart Slider through one-button remote, your mobile app, or voice-assisted speakers. With the schedule feature, you can cool off your bedroom naturally while having a dinner. So that's great for sustainability. With our one-button remote, it detects the accidental falls and sends alerts to the emergency contacts. It can also give access to the emergency rescue team, and they don't need to break the door, so it can be the lifesaver. There are endless integration possibilities with the smart home supported sensors. We have a team of experts that do not have famous name, but they have experience working in big and small companies and delivering cutting-edge products. One of our co-founders is currently working with trillion-dollar tech giant. This is, you see, the Smart Slider in beta testing by various users with different types of doors and windows. We also have designs in pipeline for vertical and Kismet windows. We have done market validation through crowdfunding, and we have launched Smart Slider on our application yesterday. Our target sectors are senior homes, new home builders, retailers, and wholesalers. We have a cost-effective product, and we don't have any direct competition. Some of our competitors have only pet pet door solution like Vazen and MyQ, and it costs $700 and $3,000. Smart Slider can give you customized opening anywhere between 1 to 100%. Thank you. Please visit our booth for live demo.
So tell me a little bit about your branding. I'm a little confused. Lychee Things sounds like a boba shop, and you have Smart Slider. Tell me a little bit about this.
So Lychee Things, it's our company name, and Smart Slider is our product. So Lychee Things basically because we have future products in pipeline, so we make our first product as Smart Slider because it slides your doors and windows.
How do you prevent accidental opening and closing, or if it's left open for an extended period of time?
So we have a timer and schedule, and we have also locking mechanism in between. So once it's locked, once it's closed, it will keep them locked, so no one can come in. It's like it will work as the latch door when it's closed. And if it's keep open out of certain time, we can push the notification, like if you have set in your application, if it's open beyond 30 minutes, or if it open this, then it will send notification and it can close all of them. Or if you have like turn on the notification, and also when you go away, there is an away mode, then it will close all the doors and windows.
And the notifications work outside of the home, so
Yes, yes.
And you can program multiple.
You have to be yes. It's just Wi-Fi, and so it can remotely anywhere you can access. You can check whether it's closed, locked, or what position. And if you want to freshen up your home before you come in, you can do so.
What kind of a power source does it use, and do you need a professional installation, or is it a consumer?
No, you can do it. That's the beauty of our product. It's DIY installation. It's just the 2 clamps that you need to attach with 2 screws, and it's just you have to snap it in, just like the blinds or anything that you install by yourself. And power is the DC power cord, like your laptop charger or like that. So it's just. Thank you.
All right. I can only imagine with my dog, she would be going in and out all day long. That door would be getting its work out. But that seemed like a really incredible, as with all the companies today, some really incredible technologies. So make sure you get your votes in for Lychee Things with their Smart Slider product. So our audience choice last year was a company called Dance for Healing. It was a teledance product. As we look at telemedicine, we constantly see things moving forward and looking at how do you do teledance and get people together. But the founder created the product out of a cancer diagnosis that she had received, and looking at ways to essentially bring people together, make them active, and look at the health benefits that can come from that. So they were our audience choice winner for 2021. All right, just a couple seconds left to get your votes in for Lychee Things. All right, and next up, we have Ultra Loop Technologies.
Hello everyone, my name's Tom Morioka and I'm presenting with Ultraloop Technologies. We're a sanitization company out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. With the pandemic, we've all become so aware of how important our cleanliness is to stopping the spread of infectious disease. And this is even more the case for the elderly, who we know to be amongst the most vulnerable for sickness. We know how important it is to wash our hands to stop the spread of sickness, but what about the items we touch right after? The elderly, they have their hearing aids, glasses, maybe a smartwatch, and a mobile phone that on average has 10 times more pathogens than the average toilet seat. These items can truly act as a Trojan horse, bringing in pathogens silently into our loved ones' homes. Our solution is the Ultraloop 2.0. The Ultraloop 2.0 is a chamber that sanitizes any item in just 30 seconds using UVC light. You simply put your things inside, close the lid, and then press the button to begin the cycle. But why is this important? Well, the Ultraloop provides a chemical-free way to sanitize our frequently touched items to break the chain of transmission from our belongings to our hands. The Ultraloop doesn't just sanitize our items so that we can be safer, but also so we can feel safer. During the pandemic, elderly were subject to loneliness as a cause of health anxiety caused by their extreme vulnerableness to sickness. Having an extra layer of protection that the Ultraloop provides can make them feel safer welcoming people into their homes. Our team is made up of students from the University of North Carolina, raring to make an impression on the sanitization industry. We're led by our founder, Aditya Bhatt, whose expertise in hardware can be seen in his first venture that he started at just 16 years old. What sets us apart is our team of trusted advisors, experts in their fields, from business development to technology, with truly the perfect balance between tenacity and also experience. Our go-to-market strategy is made up of two channels. First, distribution via local wholesalers, and then strategic partnerships. And this is where Ultraloop can really shine. As a product company, building solutions is what we do best. And looking forward, we are looking to integrate our UVC technology into all elements of the smart home so that we can do our part in building a more sustainable and healthy future. Thank you so much and have a healthy rest of your CES. Thank you.
You mentioned you're looking at partnering, and right now it's essentially that box, right, that you have to buy. And how much is that?
That starts at around $1,000.
And there's different sizes?
So we actually have this solution, and we also have one that's coming out in a few months. It's a conveyor belt, almost like a TSA check-in. You put in your things on one side, and you walk through, pick up your sanitized items on the outside.
The current product that you have, how is it different than other UV light sterilizers that are on the market?
Yes, ma'am. So you can see here, with our average closest compressors, we're the largest on the market, which really works well in a healthcare environment where it stops the funnel of workflow, so multiple people can sanitize their items at once. Our timing is relatively quick compared to the market, and also due to our patented technology, specifically the configuration of our 6 lamps, and also the reflective chamber inside, that allows for a full 360-degree sanitization of your device. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Voting is open for Ultraloop. Go to slido.com/CTAFAARP. We are down to one more pitch company to go. So looking forward to seeing the results of all of your votes, as well as our judges' deliberations on this. But make sure you get your vote in for Ultraloop. Do a little bit of promotion for the CTA Foundation. If any of you are interested, it looks, based on the way my phone keeps lighting up, I think a lot of people are tweeting about us. We are at CTA Foundation. I'll also mention we just launched our Instagram, so if you are interested, follow us on Instagram as well. In fact, we have a Instagram wall in the lobby of the West Hall over at the Convention Center. So encourage people to go over there, snap their photo in front of it, and highlight how tech gives back and supports different communities. So encourage people to interact with us in those ways. All right, voting is closing for Ultraloop, and we're down to our final company, Vaha.
Hi everyone, my name is Nehir. I am the co-founder of Vaha Smart Garden. Here's it. And I want to share with you our latest innovation, but first I want you to meet with you, Tom. So, Tom is 27 years old. He lives in a New York apartment, and like most of us here, he has limited access to fresh and clean food. Because his food travels probably more than that, and after buying groceries from the stores, it starts to wither away after a few days or in a week, as you all know. So when it comes to growing, urban people lost their connection with the nature. And we don't know anything about gardening. And a study shows that main reasons are lack of space, lack of time, and lack of knowledge. We have a solution for all of that. So, Vaha lets everyone to grow their own food at home. Our system makes sure plants get the optimal configuration of water, nutrient, light, and oxygen. And the result is pesticide-free and fresh food. So it's very easy to use. You should just, all you need to do is just planting the plant pots to the garden, and then fill the water tank and start growing. So how we do it? It's a combination of IoT technologies, grow light technology, and hydroponics. We have smart lighting and smart irrigation features. It also has water temperature and humidity sensors. You can grow lots of cool stuff like lettuce, kale, basil, thyme, and now we are validating tomatoes, microgreens, edible flowers, and strawberries. It's like coffee machine, but for plants. Our AI-powered mobile app lets you to track the plant's progress and sending notifications like you should add a nutrient, and the best notification, harvest is ready. We allow the pushing the boundaries of innovation. Vaha can connect with the other devices and analyze the user behavior and offer an experience of end-to-end experience of growing, cooking, and consuming. It is sustainable too because it reduces food waste. Because still the roots of the plant still in the water, it means it is alive, and also it minimizes the food miles and carbon footprint. We have target customers like foodies, tech enthusiasts, design lovers, and such, and millennials, seniors. It's also a great device for the senior citizens who have been all the caregivers for their life, and it's also a stress relief product and also freshens the indoor air quality. And I think they will enjoy the experiencing of taking care of a living thing. So this is our team. We have a multidisciplinary team. There are computer engineers, mechanical engineers, plant biologists, and venture builders. We have great advisors. And we have great partners. We have a university-industry partnership, and our manufacturer is the third biggest technology provider in Europe. We generate revenue from one-time sales of smart gardens and repeated recurring revenue from the consumables. And this is our future plans. We are working on Vaha community and our modular product to enable our users to be free. Sorry. So if you're interested, please come and visit our booth. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So it looks like it uses hydroponics.
Yes.
Does it automatically adjust water levels? Where's the water container? Is it something separate and it flows into your container, or how does that work?
Yeah. The user should add water every twice a week. That's all he needs to do. And the other things are we have a smart pump in there, and it makes the smart aeration. It makes the plants get the optimal oxygen level. So all the work is done by Vaha. The user can get and just harvest it.
Does it remind me if I forget to put water in it or if it's getting dry?
Yes, yes.
We'll do that. And how much is it and how much are the refills?
And Smart Garden is $250 and the consumables are $15.
And how long will one of those plants sustain me if I do everything I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, you're asking for the harvest time?
Yeah, like once I harvest it, will it grow again? Like basil, for example, loves to keep growing, right? So if I harvest it, will it continue to grow? And so how much life can I get out of one of those plants?
Yeah, normally leafy greens and herbs grow in 3 to 4 weeks. But you can make the partial harvest or full harvest. For example, as you mentioned, basil, mint loves the pruning and they continue to grow. After 4 weeks, they are still alive, additional 3 or 4 weeks more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many of these have you sold?
4,000 units. We have a home appliance partner in Turkey. We will make our launch next month. And now we are trying to expand Europe and US. For this year, 4,000 units, yes.
So it's interesting. It's a product that you initially seem to present to urban people, younger people wanting to grow their own vegetables. But I also see it like for kids and for seniors as well. Where has the majority of the 4,000, or where's been the 4,000 sold, and who's been the buyers of that?
Yeah, the customer profile of our home appliance partner is both millennials and senior citizens and parents with the kids. The main reason they buy it, for example, the senior citizens, it is really, I believe that I have worked in very innovation projects, and I believe that food is the problem, and everybody needs it. So it's very hard to customize and segmentize the customer profile.
Can I use my own seeds?
Yeah, sure, but we are making experiments in our university lab, R&D lab. We suggest to use our own seeds, Vaha seeds, but you can use your own seeds.
All right, that is time for questions.
Thank you so much.
And that is our 8th pitch. So please give a round of applause to all 8 companies for their great job today. Now, I'm going to invite our judges to join us in the back in the green room while you deliberate and help choose the judge's choice. I have a feeling that's going to be a tough choice for all of you. All right, and while the judges are going back to deliberate, we've got some additional programming for all of you. I'm really pleased to invite up to the stage Jen Consalvo from Established, along with Kim Folsom from Capital or Founders First Capital Partners, Jimena Hartsock from Build Within, and Eric Shaw with TransLink Capital for a great conversation around startups, investing, and CES.
All right, thank you so much, Steve. We have the position now of keeping you all in your seats, riveted, while the judges deliberate. So thank you for being here, first of all. Welcome up. Come on up, Kim. Have a seat. And again, I want to thank you, Steve. Thank the CTA Foundation for bringing this incredible event to CES for the 4th year. My company, I'm Jen Consalvo. My company is called Established, and my team has had the privilege of helping to be part of this event for all 4 of those years. We're very excited to be here again and in person. So, all right, we're going to have a conversation. We've got a couple investors and a serial entrepreneur. So when 2 investors and a serial entrepreneur get on a stage together, what do? We're going to talk about funding and what all you startups should consider and think about. So first, can we each go around and maybe just share a little bit about who you are and what your organization does? So Kim, maybe we can start with you.
Certainly. Good afternoon. I am so delighted to be here, and congratulations to CTA on putting on CES 2020. I am the founder, CEO, and chairperson of Founders First Capital Partners and the founder of Founders First CDC. I've actually been on both sides of the table. Founders First is my 7th venture, but my prior 6 were all tech companies. And CES was a very big part of launching and growing those businesses that I exited 3 from. And so now I'm on the other side of the table, and we work to fund and grow diverse founder-led businesses, helping them leverage the bridge between innovation, solutions, and flexible capital. So thank you.
Jimena.
Hello, my name is Jimena Hartzog. I am originally from Chile, but I live in the Washington, D.C. area for about 20 years now. I have founded 3 companies, 3 startups. I exited one of them, and I have the other ones growing. I just founded the last one that is called Build Within, and is technology to increase the number of people studying technology jobs.
And I'm Eric Shaw. I'm a general partner with TransLink Capital. We're an early stage venture capital firm based in San Francisco Bay Area with additional offices across North Asia, so Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing, Taipei, and we just added Kuala Lumpur this year. We invest across the entire spectrum of the technology stack from chip level all the way up through software and services.
Thank you all. So I just want to start with an easy question for everybody, hopefully an easy question. Just why do you come to CES? What gets you excited about the show, and what do you focus on when you're here?
So for me, as a serial tech entrepreneur, CES is a great place for relationships and connections. Everyone who's wanting to do business comes to CES, and this is the first kind of kickoff of the economy for the new year. So it's a great place for partnerships. And the other is to keep on top of innovation. All the latest innovation is on display here at CES.
My first startup, when I was just starting in technology, I founded a company in 2012, and my first show was the Consumer Electronics Show 2013. And that was a huge opportunity for me to see the power of CTA as a membership organization. I met Gary Shapiro, the CEO at CES at the time, and several other members, and they all helped me tremendously to start my company. So I'm very thankful that CES didn't cancel this year. As you can see, people here that are from all over the world that travel to Vegas because actually life goes on, and we just have to give a signature and wear a mask. But the question is a great question, because I feel like all the startups that just share what they're doing, that's what it takes sometimes to get in front of investors and clients. And so if you're not there, if you're not present, you're not going to be found. CES was my first show. My second show was South by Southwest, and we found our first investors in both shows. So being in at CES, not only online, is a huge opportunity for your companies to be noticed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, we're here as a firm to discover. We're here to renew and catch up on relationships that we already have, and also to discover new ones. And that happens through an in-person event like this. And so that's something that we've sorely missed as a firm in the last 2 years, and we're so happy to be back and to see all of you here. The other thing I think that's unique about CES and the platform here is it's not just pure scale, but it brings together the entire ecosystem of technology, from very large companies, established companies, medium-sized companies, and the small startups. And it's a very unique opportunity for that set of companies to interact with each other. Because oftentimes shows are very focused on one particular segment of that equation. And CES provides all of it.
All right, so I'm going to jump into a couple different areas to share some of the breadth that we have on the stage here. So, Kim, I'd love for you to share with the audience some of different types of investing that you do, because this is a little bit unique. You focus on RBI, so revenue-based investing, which is not familiar. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. Can you share a little bit of what that looks like and what kind of entrepreneurs you would be looking for to work with?
Certainly. So as I shared, I started Founders First as my 7th venture from my prior 6 tech companies. And I founded Founders First because I wish was the type of investor that I got. So many people are so in love with equity-based financing, which is great. But the reality is it takes a combination of capital to help you grow your company. And the other piece of it innovation drives so much capital valuation in this country. So revenue-based financing, first, let me share what it is. If you ever watched Shark Tank, this is the easiest way to understand it. And Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, most of the deals he does are revenue-based financing, which basically is investing in a company based on an investment in their revenue streams, as opposed to taking a big chunk of the company. For companies to grow, it takes so much for somebody to go from idea to a Facebook company. They go through ups and downs, and as you go through those ups and downs, if you just use equity, you're going to give away a lot of your company and to figure that out. Revenue-based financing is a way for revenue-based companies that have the right level of gross margin to instead allow people to invest in a portion of their revenue in exchange for capital. And it can be just as flexible as equity in that, for that royalty stream, getting access to capital to invest in marketing, hire people, and all of those things without having to give up that equity. And for underfunded companies that are not the hockey stick, Facebook companies, you need access to other sources of capital. And so, we're providing this new innovative source of capital to fill that gap that equity's not serving. But there's a lot of great companies that need that help and support, especially underserved markets. We have a goal of not only delivering revenue-based financing, but also doing it to underserved communities, women, people of color, LGBTQ, veterans, that often have not gotten access to the capital markets, and that's really how we're serving the marketplace.
And are we seeing a growth in the RBI investing model?
There is more people joining, but there needs to be more education about it. I mean, I think Mr. Wonderful has done a great job, and I'm glad to say he's been an advisor to me when I started Founders First, 6 years ago. But more people need to be aware that this is a great option to fund your company, and it's not or, it's and. You need various things to get there, but for you to get to be that $5 to $10 million company and get access to more flexible price capital, you need to take into consideration of that. So there are more firms in revenue-based financing. There's actually a group of us revenue-based investment firms that you can tap into to get access to. And just like equity-based firms, we syndicate deals, and then we also want to help them graduate to other types of capital too.
That's great. So you mentioned underrepresented, so I wanted to go over to Jimena and talk about how you as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, multiple companies, have tackled some of these issues. So we hear some really dismal stats out there, right? That was it under 2% of female founders are able to raise capital. When you add in female founders of color, the numbers drop significantly. So how do you look at those numbers, and how have you been able to overcome those odds?
So I think the first thing is actually to probably forget about those numbers. like I think it's very intimidating as a first-time entrepreneur, no matter what color you are or gender, to raise capital. And all investors are looking for the same things. And so traction, paying attention to growing your clientele, getting users, spending the time as a founder in the right things. So in the beginning, when I was starting the company, my first company, I did not spend almost any time on social media. I didn't do any marketing. I wasn't going to any happy hours or things like that. I was going to a very limited number of events where I thought I could find value. And CES was always one of those events. So every year since 2012, I've been coming to CES, except last year that I saw it online. And that is, I think, what it turned for me into some level of success, which is getting customers, showing growth, because all investors at the end of the day, what they're looking for are those metrics. So you may think that it's easier for somebody that is a white male that went to Stanford. It may be easier to get the first meeting, but it's the whole point of the first meeting is to get a second meeting. And so you have to have those numbers, right? If you're a woman, you definitely have to work a little harder, because that's not just for startups, it's just a matter of a fact that investors are used to seeing some recipes works. There's some models that have worked for them, and unfortunately we don't have enough women having that track record for them to have something to reference to. So we have to give it to them. So my experience with investors have been, for the most part, very clear that it doesn't really matter whether they say they support minorities or not. All of my investors have been males, and most of them have been white males. It has been much easier for me to raise funds and get heard from those just very traditional firms than the ones that, kind of try to work with minorities. So I just think that as an entrepreneur, you just had to be very focused on the things that matter to investors, focus your time in building your product and your company, and spend your time well in events that have an ROI.
I totally agree with that. I mean, as a firm, and I think as investors, we're in the business of trying to make good investments, and so we're race blind, color blind, gender. I mean, all of that, it comes down to the business that you're presenting, how you're going to get there, what the experience that you have is that's going to get you there. And there's always a big story. So that for us as venture investors, we need big stories in order to justify the investment that we make. But equally important is the pathway from getting from point zero to that big story. I think if you can provide the steps and a roadmap on how to get there, that's also really helpful from an investor perspective to understand how you're going to go about achieving that big vision.
So Eric, what are some of the biggest pitfalls that you see entrepreneurs fall into? You see thousands of companies here, early stage, they're all trying to make it, they're all trying to get the meeting, right? They're trying to get to the next steps. What do you see as some of those biggest obstacles?
I mean, I think getting the meeting is a lot of work. It's networking. I mean, as a firm, we look at about 2,500 companies a year. We invest in maybe 7 or 8. And so of those 2,500, those are actually meetings we take. So then the insight outside of that is, how many companies are pitching to us beyond that 2,500. So the numbers are tough, but I think once you get that meeting, it's being very clear about things. One of the pitfalls I see is, companies coming in and founders saying, here's our market size and our market opportunity. And it's this massive number. And then when you try to dig into it, it's not really clear that the market opportunity and the numbers that they're showing, how it relates to actually the business that they're presenting to you. The other thing I'd say is be able to present your business in snippets. So have a 30-second story that you can tell in an elevator that tells what your business is basically about. Have a 5-minute pitch, and then have your longer 25-minute pitch. But I always think that if an entrepreneur cannot define what their business is and their value proposition and how they're going to go after it in 30 seconds, there's probably some more thinking that needs to be done. And the longer the pitch gets, a lot of complexity comes into it, and there's not clarity of thought. And so I think if you're able to distill down, it'll say something about the quality of what you're presenting.
So I don't like to say, in a post-pandemic world, because we're just not there yet. But it's an evolution, right? And so how have things changed, over the past, I don't even remember how many months it's been, but past couple years, in terms of how you engage with entrepreneurs, how you connect with them, how they're connecting with you, and what do you sort of see in the next year for entrepreneurs? How can we look at the investing world in 2022?
So I would say that I was actually just talking to one of our team members about this, that this pandemic experience is the new normal. It's not going to be as significant as it was in 2020, but it's not going to go back to 2019. And so we're going to need to adapt to this. In some ways, it's provided more opportunity for for people to adopt technology to connect. As many folks told, it's so much about relationships and connecting, and more people are using this as a way to connect never before. For entrepreneurs, they're able to connect in relationships that they couldn't get access to without going further away. So those have been some pluses. You know, we run like 12 different pitch events each year, and so those are virtual. Now at the end of last quarter, we made them on ground, but we really help them learn to apply technology and innovation and adaptivity, because with challenges like this, there are challenges and there's opportunities. So using social media and other tools to be accessible so we can help use this as an opportunity for growth.
I think that CES is a very good example of how people take advantage of crisis. So you see lots of companies that didn't come to CES, and you have the rest of the companies getting all the attention here, right? And so I chose to come to CES too. I flew a very long flight to get here, and I see people from France, from Switzerland, from South Korea, from all over the world that did the same, because you have to be in the room to be able to get noticed. And so what the pandemic has done is given opportunity for everyone to have access. You know, it's not just, this CES is not just big tech. All the ones that canceled gave opportunity to everyone else. I saw yesterday the very good expo of the US Post Office. And I was very impressed that you have a government agency showing all of their technology and innovation. And you know, the Bosch the list is long, and here these 2 floors. So it's not just about connecting remotely. That's very important, but it's also about sizing the opportunity that comes with the crisis. Today, the pandemic gave visibility to medical technology, gave visibility to education technology. And so I think that's what happens. I mean, most of the innovations have occurred at times of crisis, after the depressions, after 9/11, etc. So this is one of those, and I think the people in this room are seizing that opportunity.
I'll be quick. I see our judges have made a decision, so I'm super excited to hear what it is. You know, our business, Jimena as an entrepreneur's business, it's about people. And so during the pandemic, we had to figure out new ways of how to get to know people. But I still think nothing's ever going to replace being in person. And so, you know, I wrote a posting once I got here. I said, there's no place like being in person. And I think that's going to be true for years to come.
I just want to add that I have my second company now, and both companies have been completely focused on building connections between all the people who need to connect to build an innovation ecosystem. So whether it's online or offline, it all comes down to making the effort. So if you're a startup out there, just don't forget, don't stay heads down. Don't just focus on what you're building and think, if I build a better mousetrap, it's going to happen. It is all about the connections that you make. So thank you for being here. Thank you for making that effort this year, and we hope to see you in the future. Good luck with everything. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you to Jen, Kim, Eric, and Jimena for a great conversation. I'll say I was back in the back with our judges, such screaming and shouting, and I never knew Dan Pigeon was that vicious. I mean, my gosh. But no, we had a great conversation, a really, really tight and hard decision amongst all the entries. So I just want to give a round of applause again to all 8 companies for your pitches today.
It was really hard. It really was. It was a great, great group of companies.
But before we get to the selection by the judges, all of you voted. We had an incredible participation from across all the different companies submitting. And one of you ended up being the audience choice winner, who will win a $2,000 prize from the CTA Foundation. And I'm pleased to announce Vaha as our audience choice winner. All right, and now for the Judge's Choice winner. As I said, a very, very tough choice, but the winner of the $3,000 prize is Caregiver Smart Solutions. Congratulations. Congratulations. And I got to say, it really was. It was a tough choice. It was a very close vote across both the audience choice and the judge's choice. So I really do appreciate all 8 of these companies. All of them are exhibiting here at CES, so make sure you go visit their booths and learn more about the technologies that they have. With that, we're coming to the conclusion of our CTA Foundation pitch this year. Want to once again thank our judges for their participation. Great questions. Really appreciate you taking the time and giving your feedback to these great companies here. So thank you.
Thank you, CTA. Keep innovating.